my name's Nikki. I'm the Obsessive Bookseller, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Goblin Emperor by Katherine Addison. This is a book that has been on my TBR for several years now, and a couple of my trusted friends absolutely loved it, personally recommended it to me. And so when I saw that NetGalley had an audiobook version available, I snagged it without hesitation. I knew going into this one that it was going to be heavily character-driven, not a lot of plot, and a lot of politics. I don't think I expected the level of non-plot, non-external plot as was in here. I also expected it to be a little grittier. Someone described it as a feel-good book, and that's exactly how I would categorize it. You're not really reading it for substance, but to just go along the journey. The entire book is centered around the new Goblin Emperor. He's a half-elf, half-goblin, navigating the politics of the court around him and dealing with the people and learning how to be an emperor. The characters are really charming in this book, and I can see why so many people love it, because you really get a warm sense whenever the emperor figures something out or goes against the norm and does something kind. For me, because it doesn't have much of a plot and the whole focus is supposed to be on the politics and the workings of the court, I was expecting something a lot more complex, and actually kind of needed something a lot more complex. The politics were quite simple, to be frank, and didn't really give me a lot to latch onto. Everything about the execution felt simple and not complex at all. I did not love it quite as much as some of my peers. I think I'm going to end up giving it about a 3.5 stars. And because I specifically picked an audiobook production for review, I want to talk a little bit about the audio quality. The narrator they got was pretty good. The author uses a different format of communication for her characters. They refer to themselves as we. Like, we really are having a good day, art thou? And at first it was a little hard to get used to, but the narrator did a really good job playing back and forth on all of that, and I thought his accent fit the type of narration pretty well. There are a lot of really complicated names, in my opinion, just slightly too complicated for an audiobook. But because everything is relatively simple, as soon as I stopped stressing about trying to remember all of the names, it got a lot easier to just sit back and enjoy the story. Because the entire thing takes place at a court, there's a whole bunch of pomp and circumstance of language. They address the emperor, your serenity, every other sense. Like, your serenity, we are doing this, your serenity. And for me, it got a little bit repetitious and a little bit hard to listen to. I think I prefer a little more simplistic writing and production, but that is completely a personal preference. I think the unique quality of the presentation is partly why so many people loved it, so take that with a grain of salt. The author had a lot of really fun new ideas that I haven't seen anywhere else. I liked her use of a non-human main character, and that their mannerisms were just slightly different from human. I mean, we're not talking completely foreign, but it was cute. She references their little ears popping up or laying flat a lot in the story, which I thought was a nice little touch. 3.5 out of 5 stars is, I think, where I'm gonna sit with this one. I don't regret reading it, but I don't think I'll remember a lot about it because it was kind of all one the same. Evidently, there's a new book in the world coming out soon, and I am not sure if I'm going to be picking that one up. I kind of liked the fact that this one was a standalone. That one's kind of a companion novel. It's not a direct continuation, but I think I've had enough of this one for a while. But in any case, so many of my peers loved this one. It's definitely a feel-good story, and I would recommend it if you liked Becky Chambers' Wayfarer. If you're okay with there not being a huge overlaying plot driving everything, and it's more about the characters and the interaction, I think you'll like this one quite a bit. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to catch you next time.